I'm currently hiring a CEO for my $85 million business AppSumo.com, and in this video, I want to show you what the process looks like behind the scenes of finding that person. Also, I am literally going to give away $100,000 to the person that helps me hire the next CEO for AppSumo. So stick to the end because I'm going to explain how you can help and maybe get the 100,000 bucks. A little bit more about AppSumo.com. It is the #1 digital marketplace for entrepreneurs. So if you're looking to buy or sell software, check out AppSumo. In the past year, we have done some rocket ship growth from $34 million to over $85 million this year in revenue. And there's over 80 amazing teammates at the company, half in Austin and half around the world. So if things are going so great, why are we hiring another CEO? And yes, AYMAN, the current CEO, knows about this, and he has been running an amazing job for the past 6 years and literally took the business from $4 million all the way up to $85 million. That is unreal, and a lot of praise to the leadership of AYMAN and the amazing team that he's hired. Recently, he actually took the initiative to say, hey, we should hire a new CEO for the next level of growth. And you may be wondering, man, it must suck to work with Noah, or why the hell would he want to step out when things are going so well? So let's cue AYMAN and let him actually say it for himself.
So to me, like when you think about a company, there's 3 stages of the company. Number 1, there's the startup, there's the grow up, and then there's the scale up. And I think that startup, no, you're perfect for this, right? Like getting a company from 0 to 1 million, getting it off the ground, really being able to take it to that next level, I think is your sweet spot. Grow up, I mean, I think that's really where we've been, right? Where we're trying to get it from 3, to be honest, if we do 85 million, I think like that's underselling. We might do 100 million this year. You're hiring the team in place, you're putting the processes in place, you're thinking about what is the long-term strategy of the business. And then the third component is scale up. What do we need to do to go from 100 million to $1 billion? What do we need to do in terms of thinking about hiring the next level executive team? What do we need to do to think about prepping ourselves up for IPO readiness, regulatory compliance, meeting with potential bankers, going through all of that process? And I think there's 3 very different stages of the company. I think the CEO role, I mean, I feel like I've been in 9 different jobs as CEO over the last 6 years. But if we were to really chunk it down to those 3 major areas, the next stage of CEO is a completely different kind of CEO, right? Tim Cook is perfect for Apple.
Yeah, AppSumo maybe.
Hey, Tim, if you're looking, we need you. So Tim is perfect for Apple right now, where Steve Jobs may not be. And vice versa, he would have been terrible when Apple first started. And so I think finding the right person for the right stage of the company is super critical. And then I think the last component is like, for me, like right now, like I personally love the grow up stage. That's an area that I want to double down on really, and figuring out how, if you're at 3 million, what is it going to take to get you to 100 million? And figuring out what is that process over and over again, and really going deeper on there. And sure, maybe in the future, scale up will be in the cards for me. But right now, to me, this grow up feels like the sweet spot for myself right now. For the right person, this is the world's best job. I mean, people ask like, oh, like why are you stepping down? Honestly, like why I've been, like I think the better question is like, why did I stick around for so long? And I think it's how much I've learned, how many lives we've changed, the amount of, I mean, partners text me like, I'm gonna name my company name my yacht after AppSumo. Like the amount of companies, the amount of jobs that we've created has been incredible. And like, I honestly joined Noah, I thought I was gonna be here for 18 months to 2 years, learn and move on. And I think that's a testament to you, testament to the team, testament to the mission that I've been here 6 years. And I think just recognizing like, look, we are now transitioning from a grow up to a scale up. And that type of CEO is a very different type of CEO. And I want to help find that individual and help transition that individual, whoever that person may be, and help us get to that next level.
Now we're looking for the person that will help scale this company to 1 billion and beyond, and maybe even take the company public. I don't know about that, but we'll see. So how do you actually go about finding a next CEO, or maybe for yourself becoming a CEO? First off, you have to figure out what kind of CEO you actually want. So how do you do it? First off, we got key opinions from key stakeholders on what kind of CEO they want. So what do they love about AYMAN, and what do they want in the next level CEO? So we used a framework called Moscow. I haven't heard of this before, but I have liked it. It is the must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, would-haves. So we basically made this entire list. So then we said, what are the must-haves and a few of what are the should-haves. So some of the key things that we're looking for in our hiring. First off, culture fit. Are they weirdos just like us? That's really important, especially if you're gonna spend so much time working with these people. Next up is past results. So have they scaled a business similar to ours or been a key person there? Something to think about is that you can either hire someone who's been a CEO or someone who is right next to the CEO and wants to actually finally be the big boss. Something that we're just considering and thinking about is someone who's probably done a little bit more on the direct product side or has significantly scaled out a sales team. Next up is ability to hire other executive talent. So ask them, who else have you hired? And look at who they hired and see if you're impressed with the people they're hiring. Every key leader in AppSumo gets final interview with the candidate, and everyone has to say yes on this person. You shouldn't have to be convinced if you're hiring the next leader of your company. So we are making a PR event out of this recruiting process, like this kind of video. This is also a great time to get more people aware of the awesomeness of AppSumo.com. So think about how you can create more monthly or regular hype moments in your own business. So how are we actually promoting this PR event? A few ways. Emails, hitting up places for PR mentions, job posting. So normally you see like engineering role. We're actually putting a CEO role on our job board, appsumo.com/careers. We're doing a podcast tour. I'm gonna go out and put an episode on my show, as well as go on other podcasts and talk about what we're hiring for. 3 other ways we're looking for the CEO. Hiring executive recruiting firms. So these are super expensive firms. They charge generally around $100,000 each, and they have a lot of their own candidates they've worked with over the years, and they go out and contact people to say, hey, you might be a great fit for this position. So what's fascinating and why you might think, no, why would you pay $100,000 for these types of firms is a few reasons. One, they recruit this type of position often. How many times have we done it? Almost never. So they have a lot of experience with the questions, how to fit them in, how to actually make sure this person's calibrated with our company. 2 other ways we're doing our recruiting, and this can apply to literally any type of person that you're trying to hire, is leverage your customer base. So AppSumo has amazing customers. Shout out Sumolings. So we're emailing and promoting to our audience saying, hey, you probably know amazing people that we may want to hire. I love hiring people that are already customers of ours. They already love our mission. They already love what we're doing. AYMAN, who's the current CEO, was a customer before he even got started here. So reach out to your own customers before you go cold. And lastly, reach out to people in your network that know other impressive people. So some of the people that I've reached out to is Andrew Chen, Heaton Shaw, Eric Rees, Paul Singh. And so how did I reach out to them? I literally just texted him and I said, hey, you own some of our business. Our CEO's doing amazing. Our company's doing awesome. We're looking for our next CEO. Who would you recommend? And I actually got some recommendations for them, and I set up some calls to talk with those people. So once we've narrowed down the CEO, and we will do a follow-up video that shows who the next AppSumo CEO is, how do you actually pay a CEO? So CEOs nowadays, especially in tech companies, are making a fat 7 figures, which I know my mom is going, oy vey, 7 figures, so much money, Noah. But hold up, think about it. This is a person responsible for 80 people, $100 million business, and then growing that business. So when you are thinking about actually getting a job for yourself or hiring other people, really not think about what you're spending on them. Think about what they are worth and what they value is. If this person takes AppSumo from $100 million to $1 billion or beyond valuation, like how much is that worth? Yeah, it's definitely worth a high 6-figure salary plus a ton of equity, which will give them upside for the future. So yes, think about your value and the worth, not necessarily just how much you're spending on a lot of these things. So next up, yeah, blah, 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 boring paperwork, but here's where it's actually interesting. In the first 3 to 6 months of this executive hire, it's how do you coach them to be very successful on their onboarding? One of the things in the CEO process, and I recommend it for a lot of your roles, is have them pitch you on what they're gonna do for the first 3 or 6 months. Guess what? When you finally hire that person, they can just go do those things. But that still being the case, you need to coach them. So think about all the different aspects that a CEO or a lot of the roles that you're hiring for need. And this is something I did not know when I first started businesses. People need to be onboarded effectively. So they need to meet the customer base, AKA our Sumolings. They need to interact and get along with the entire team. They need to review planning, strategy, and existing business operations. I have found, I know with AYMAN, and just with a lot of our key roles, it takes at least 6 months to bring people up to speed where they can actually start creating a lot of value and success in the business. And so I just want to remind you and remind myself of that. And lastly, who cares about our company? What about a $100,000 CEO bounty for you? So I am gonna be giving away $100,000 to the person that helps me find AppSumo's next CEO. So how exactly is it gonna work? I want you to email me the LinkedIn profile of the person to ceo@appsumo.com. And you must personally know this person. Please do not email me your dad or your soccer coach or your stepmom. Recommend you email me something you actually think we might hire. I've told you a little bit about what we're looking for. I will reply to you confirming if we are interested in actually having a conversation with that candidate. If we hire the person and they stay with us for at least 6 months, you get a $100,000 check. Is making a video to hire a CEO plus paying $100,000 for a fee weird? Yeah, that's AppSumo.com. We are a marketplace where you can buy and sell digital software to help you grow or start your online business. So if you like this video and you want to hear the full story of how I started AppSumo.com and how we've scaled it to over $85 million, make sure to check out this video right up here and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more videos from Uncle Noah. I love you and I'll see you out there. Pew, pew.